mentioned, every month we're going to have one of our agents lead a class. And so far, we got Karen doing it this month, Scott Steele, and I haven't reached out to anyone else on some of the following months. So some of you that are on this screen, I probably will be reaching out to you to see if it's something you might be interested in. But I figured no better person to kick off the year and kick off this idea than Karen for a couple reasons. One, uh, I knew she would say yes. That's more important. That's the most important thing.
That's true.
And that it was the most important thing was who will say yes. Oh, Karen. So that's important. But 2023 for a lot of people, was maybe not quite the year that they wanted. And Karen might even say, wow, maybe I didn't quite hit the goals, but still had a phenomenal year, made Centurion again. And so, she was trying to steal some trophies yesterday while she was in the meadow, which made no sense because she's got trophies and is going to get another one. But, she really wants to decorate. So I asked Karen if she'd be willing to do this. She said yes, and we talked about some topics, and uh, she felt pretty good about talking about effective and efficient prospecting, which is certainly very valuable in today's market because we're trying to maximize our time and make sure we're talking to the right people. So she's a absolute wonderful agent to coach, and wonderful agent to work with. We're very privileged to have her in the company, and now we're very privileged for her to be willing to share her knowledge and information. And I've been told that she's going to tell the truth. And not just tell a bunch of lies to trick you to do things so that you won't be productive. So that's what I've been told, but I can't promise anything. So there you go. All right, so do me a favor. This is not something that she does all the time. So let's make her feel very welcome and give her the round of applause that she deserves. So Karen, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you in advance. And I'm going to turn the floor over to you.
Well, thank you, Robert. He happens to be my coach, by the way, so there's that. So,
Well, again, I had to go with the people I knew would say yes. And so, who better to start with than the people on my coaching roster?
all right. Well, hey, super fun day. Thank you, Robert. Of course, we appreciate you. So, we are in the best company, by the way. Just need to say it out loud. Century 21 Masters, rocking it. Yesterday was a blast. We had such a good time, right? I can't hear any of you, but it's okay. So we're hey Louise. So thanks for being here. I see Miguel. So all the players. Tess is here, Juan's here. Thank you guys. Thanks for the support. I see my home crew in Temecula. All right. So hi guys. All right. So let's get off the roller coaster of real estate and start the benefit of prospecting, right? To get leads. So that's what we're talking about. Of course, it goes back to your desire in real estate. So my desire when I first got in real estate was to make $100,000. So I was out of school. I went to Biola for an art major, wasn't making any money. I said, wow, I could be in real estate. I could make $100,000. And then it took me 10 years to do that. So it wasn't easy, but back then, we're talking 89, right? 89, that's a while ago. And so $100,000 was kind of maybe like 250 right now. It kind of felt that way. So I got into the builder business and it was a slow go, but I liked the business and I stuck with it, right? So what is your desire? So I'm going to pick on somebody. Miguel, can you give me like what you like to make in real estate or what are we in it for?
My goal is 249,000.
Oh, I love that goal. That's a fantastic goal. Yes. Okay. And does anyone else want to volunteer this year what their goal is?
Sure, to do $2.3 million in real estate.
Derek, that's wonderful. I love it. Okay, well, you got me beat. I only want to make 750,000. So we'll just I'll keep working on it though. All right, so we got our desire, we got our goal. That's wonderful. You can have anything you want, which is great. You want more free time? Fabulous. Probably not in the right business for free time. It's kind of 24/7. I am a people pleaser. I say yes to people. So I could be better at that. We're going to talk about that. All right. It can be a lot of fun. We know it's going to be hard work, right? You already know it's hard work. Abigail's hardworking. Is it hard work, Abigail?
Oh, yes, it is.
100%, 100%.
Yes.
So the key is have some fun, enjoy the process, because it's going to take a little bit of time. So if Todd was here, he would tell you, as soon as I'm consistent with my prospecting, 3 weeks into it, I'm usually overloaded with too much business. So how can we manage ourselves to be consistent for that 3-week period? And actually 90 days would be ideal. Before we start judging if we got into the right business, if we're saying it wrong, I could be better at my scripts, beating ourselves up over what we're not saying right. Let's just do the task and the results will be there. So the key is not judging yourself so hard. Just get over it, let it go. The key is action. We just need to get into action. Action will solve all your problems. All right. So there's a little bit of faith involved, right? We have to sow the seed of talking to people, and we're going to reap the harvest in a few months. All right. We have to start, okay, back to 0. So I'm going to start at 0 right now. What are your contact goals? My daily goal is pretty high. Do I meet my goal every day? No, I don't. But I try. At least I try to beat my son, who's Grant right there. Hey, baby. So my goal's of 40 contacts. Now I'm pretty liberal on my contacts, meaning that anyone I say hi to about real estate counts. So if I say hi to you and you're walking your dog and I'm door knocking, I'm still counting that because I said I'm selling the house down the street. They want to talk to you. Well, thanks a lot, but I'm still counting as a contact, right? I had one guy shut the door in my face, but he then opened the door and he said, "I'll take your card." Well, I eventually got that listing. So it's okay. It's a contact, right? One time I was in Starbucks and this is pre-crash days, but I listed the guy's house in Greer because I said, well, I sell real estate. So what are you doing? What do you do? Well, I sell real estate. So I have a 3x3 rule.
I'm Dean.
Say it again. So here's a 3x3 rule. If you live by this rule, it'd be fantastic. If someone's within 3 feet of you, and in the first 3 seconds, now granted, disclaimer, you have to smile. Okay, doesn't work if you're not smiling. Okay. So we're walking in the grocery store line, we're in the Starbucks line, we're in, a store. Hi. Are you smiling? Yes. They're smiling? Yes. Miguel's smiling. Hi. Hi. I still have time to sell you a house today. Would you like to buy one or sell one? They're going to laugh. They're going to go, well, I just bought one. Well, I have a 2.75% interest rate. Well, fantastic. I'm so happy for you. Then would you like me to update you on the real estate market? We have scripts for that, right? So everything is an opportunity. So every day, every moment, 3x3. I think that's a great one. Let's go back to. I always say this to everyone I talk to. It's easy to pull the Band-Aid off fast, right? If we have to eat crow and do something wrong, we eat it while it's warm. Right? So I do that with my sellers and my buyers too, if I have bad news. Like, let's just talk about this really quickly. Let's get it out of the way. The reason I'm calling, it's not a perfect reason. Let's get it over with. But it's also that with prospecting. So when we're out there in the field and you're on the phone, state what you're there for. Let them know. They already know anyway. If you're dressed nice and sharp and dressed to impress, which you should be always, every time you go out of the house, then they know you want to talk real estate. And you know what? I got a secret for you. they want to talk real estate too. They actually know more than you about real estate. However, I'm teasing. They don't know more than you about real estate, but they think they do. So let them tell you what they think, and then you can share and you can have a deal because they want to engage. And if they're talking to you at the door, they're interested. They may not sell, they may not be ready to sign a contract tomorrow, but they're thinking about it maybe in 6 months, a year, 2 years. I will see a listing that maybe I didn't get because I go, I knocked on that guy's door. I talked to that guy, but it was 3 years ago. Did I follow up? No, it didn't hit my agenda at that moment. But when we're there, it doesn't cost you much more just to say, hey, can I follow up with you on real estate? Can I get your email? Can I update you? Right? So I would encourage you just to be a little bit more bold and make those opportunities count. And then we don't miss it, right? Okay, we're smiling, we're dialing, we're laughing, we're having a good time. I don't know what book I got this on. It might have been at Mike Ferry, just that we need to come from more of a place of contribution versus transactional. So I'm all about the deal. So if someone wasn't in, and I'm talking in my past, okay, we're getting better. But in my past, if you weren't going to sell a house with me, I didn't care. See ya. I'm off to the next person, right? But if we can be a little bit more from contribution, what does this person need? Can I help them? Do they need an attorney? Do they need, clean out? Do they need? So I got a tip on Saturday morning. I'm waking up going, what am I going to do today? I should do some contacts because I'm behind. Don't really want to. You never feel that way. Okay, so I got a text from one of my clients who I've been very, religious about calling and keeping communicate. We're communicating. I sold him the house 3-4 years ago. He's not moving, but he's in my database. So he gave me a tip on this guy that's doing a garage sale and he doesn't have an agent. I said, hallelujah. So thinking about contribution versus just being, this aggressive real estate agent coming to this open house to get the listing. I went and got some boxes at Lowe's, 5 boxes that cost me $10 and some tape. I think altogether it was $16. I took it to the garage sale. I offered it. I met the whole family, all 5 of them, actually probably more like 8. And then I was chit-chatting, and then the decision maker came in the room. So I do have that listing appointment this Friday. I'm not saying I'm going to 100% get it, right? But I'm probably going to get it. So that's the plan. So what can we do to offer just a little bit more, give a little bit more, right? So let's, did someone just text me? Aaron, he wants my listing.
Karen, what did you say to them when you brought the boxes?
I just said, hey, what did I say? I just thought you might need some boxes. Right? And they did. Oh, yeah, we could use some boxes. All right. Hey, my friend told me that you guys were possibly thinking about putting the house for sale. Yeah, we're thinking about it. But Bill's at Home Depot right now. So Bill came back. And then we had a conversation. I really tried to decompress a little bit, not be super like, hey, I'm here to list your house. It was more like, well, gosh, this is such a gorgeous house. Would you like to move into this house, Bob? His name was actually, his brother's Bill. I got both of them. So, Bob, would you like to move into this house? This is such a gorgeous house. Well, I like the house, but I hate the street. I'd never live here. Okay. Cool. Well, now I know that that's not an option, right? Is the house in a trust? You're the trustee. Okay. So we just went through some basic questions. And then I came from a point of contribution, right? Well, he wanted to do an inspection. So I said, Well, can I have your email? Then I can send you my inspector's information and a sample of the inspection. Which I did, right? Did I do it that day? No, I waited till Monday because I knew, he's moving there. It's a hassle, right? I didn't want it to get lost. So Monday morning, first thing, I took care of my assignment. Then I text them, say, hey, I just want you to know I emailed it to you. I don't see it. Okay, well, I emailed it again. Right? So I think we can be better in our total response too. I try to be very quick to respond to anybody. If I can't talk to them right then, I'm going to text them back. I'll be back with you in 1 hour or 5 minutes or whatever, right? So that was another point. Anyway, I've already been on the phone with the guy an hour. So, because we're just giving him opportunities, right? Here's a termite company, here's an inspector, here's how can I help you? What do you guys need to make this a better transition? All right, so let's go back. Let's see. Any questions so far?
With
love
door
her
knocking,
smile.
what's your, oh, sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
With door knocking, what's your overall intro in the beginning? Damn.
Who's talking? Let me see.
Derek.
Oh, Derek. Hey, Derek. Okay, so I actually prefer to have, I call it intentional prospecting, where I'm going to go around one of my listings or a buyer sale. And if you don't have a flyer with you, it's okay. Like Neil says, it's better just to do the action. But ideally, you want to have a flyer or something to put your face on that house if you can, right? If it's not your listing, then I wouldn't recommend doing that. It needs to be, yours or a company or someone that's given you permission. But yeah, you're knocking on the door. You're just saying, hi, I'm Karen Myatt. I just listed or sold this house down the street. I'll use this one on Chesterfield. I just closed it. And, we were able to get the property for 605. It's a fantastic single story. Do you know anybody that'd like to, well, hey, what would we say, Robert? We would say the script. So it's just the script. Go back to the script. Again, if they're opening the door, they're interested in talking to you. So just don't worry about it. We're talking real estate. The house just sold 605. Isn't that a fantastic price? Would you guys move if we could get you 605 for your house? Because they're already going to tell you, oh, that's way too much money. Or they're going to say, oh, they gave that house away. Really? Okay. Yeah. My buyer stole it. Would you like to buy something too? Right? I mean, let's just go into it. Wherever they're coming from, we don't know. So you just kind of have to hold back and wait to see where they're going.
So Karen, I have a question. This
Sure.
is Lupe. This is Lupe from the
Okay.
General's office. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Going back to cold calling, and if you are able to have a conversation with them with just a hello, and they're not interested, that's a contact.
100%.
And what if they hang up on you? No, I'm not interested. Thank
Even
you.
better.
Okay. Okay.
Now you know. Now you know. You're not worried about someone I'd rather someone shoot it straight with me. Hey, I have a longtime agent that I've known for 30 years. Well, God bless you. Have a great day.
And it's a contact.
It's a contact.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing great. More of those, the better, right?
Right.
I don't have this in my notes, but we think about our money a lot, right? So this would be my husband's part, but it's like, well, you're making $77 a contact, or you're making $86 a contact, or you're down to $51 a contact. So if we can think about that, like, hey, every time you get that no, Lupe, and they get the hang up, you still made $75. It's okay. I can get shoes at North Drac for $75.
You're talking to me.
Right?
Great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet.
So I think I've lost about 100. Not just kidding.
Come on, 100's even better.
Thank you.
You bet. And then you think, well, gosh, if I could get 9 people to hang up on me this hour, that's a lot of money. It's significant. Yeah. So how much money do you want to make per day technically, back to Derek, 2.5 million, I mean, you're gonna have to make a lot of contacts. Depending on what they're worth, right? Each contact. So I agree. Let's, more is better. Next, is there another question? I do have more to say, so it's no worries. Let me just,
Karen, I want to go back to what you said, door knocking around the house that you represented the buyer, right?
yeah,
So I think that's a really valuable point in itself because a lot of people don't do that. It's like, well, I didn't represent the seller. I'm not going to go prospect the area. I can promise you most listing agents are not going to do that. So you did sell the house, but I love what you just said is like, well, they sold it for too low. I know my buyer stole the property. So would you like you just went with it. Would you rather have me representing you or another buyer?
right.
But that's, you get out there in front of people and you have to have those responses, right? You have to have some fun with it. But if you're not having fun with it, you can't come up with a response like that because you're too rigid. Would you agree?
Agreed,
Great.
100%.
So you got to have some fun. I just thought that was a really great point that I wanted to make sure everyone got that. Like, even if you represent the buyer, go prospect the area.
The,
Good
the
stuff.
key, the key is to take action. And so hats off to everyone that loves being on the phone. I don't really love being on the phone. Where's Aaron? Aaron loves being on the phone. And I wanted to recommend Aaron, by the way, for helping you with Follow Up Boss. He's really good at it. Okay, so hey, Aaron. We got to get into action. Yes, I use my phone for prospecting. Yes, I'm on the phone maybe 4 hours a day. There it is. And there's part of our life that we have to do. I mean, I have decided I'm at the office at 7:30. Everyone, I'm not judging anyone if they're not at the office in the early morning, but we have to log our time. This is not get rich quick. There's a lot of money to be made, and you can be rich and you can make $1 million or more, but we have to show up. So if we're going to take off for our kids, and my kids know we took off a lot of time to help them with football and traveling and that, but that I also worked till 9 o'clock at night when they were in football practice, right? Or lacrosse practice. So we can't just say, okay, I'm only going to work 3 hours today. Well, that's not going to work. We've got to work a solid 6 to 8 hours a day. And it may not be all prospecting, but we have to be available and on point for our clients and offering that to our clients. My personal goal this year, I can't say it's a perfect plan, but is to do some prospecting in the morning on the phone, and then I'm going to hit the doors in the afternoon. I am waiting for it to get a little bit lighter and brighter. Of course, it's dark, as you know, it's been early darkness. So that 5 to 6 o'clock is golden. Everyone's home, and you can get 10, 15 contacts really fast. So I'd encourage you to do that. It doesn't have to be your whole regime of prospecting, but being out in the public is fantastic. So I have one listing. I already closed it. When I closed it, I closed it last year, but it was really fast. It was a fast sale. So I had this house across the street that I was doing nonstop open houses on because my people were overpriced. I was there at least 4 weekends doing open house. Did the neighbor come across to see me at that open house? No. Did I knock the doors? Yes. So my second time knocking the doors, I knock on the doors literally across the street and over by one. And they pulled me into the house and they said, why did you list that house so high? I said, well, the seller had an opinion on what they wanted their house to be priced at. Okay. But I did sell it and we're closing and we got over appraisal, etc. So if I had not knocked on that door, someone else would have that listing.
Yeah.
So let's not leave money on the table.
I have a
It's
question, Karen.
Yes, please, Tess.
Okay, so help me understand this for your door knocking. Okay, so I mean, I like to be on the phone. As far as door knocking, I do preview most of the time. So when you go to the door and you have you're intentional, what exactly do you do? Do you prepare your expired first and your preview? How do you make it like, prepare for that? And then my next question is, do you go by yourself or how does that work?
I always go by myself.
Okay. And what
Because
time of day?
anytime I can get my out there.
Oh,
To do it,
okay.
yes.
So
Anytime you're available.
do you prepare your previews? Do you prepare your expired door or how does that work?
I actually have just done this where I'm pulling up vacant houses that are within a mile or two from my residence. And
Yeah.
so then I just said, okay, I'm just going to do what Neil taught us, right? 5, 5, 10.
Yeah.
Pick 5. By the time I got out to location, one of the agents has always sold it already. Okay, so that one's off the list, but maybe I should have knocked the doors anyway. So just, yeah, I like to have something with purpose. I'm going there for a reason. I'm going to talk to you about a house that hasn't sold for 77 days. What do you think's wrong with it? And they're going to tell me, well, the renters trashed the house. It smells like cats. What's the reason? Right? So we'll know after we knock on a couple doors. And then they might say, well, I would have bought it if they'd give me that price, a good price. Well, I'd be happy to make an offer for you. Right. So we're just looking for opportunities. We're looking at bats. But I do love having intention. Like I'm going to this location on Primrose Lane and I'm going to knock the doors around there. And if I get there and no one's home and I'm getting, no response, then I'm leaving. I'm going to the next location. Don't beat yourself up. Go to the next location, do the same thing. And then the first day I did that, I got a buyer lead. The lady's going, well, why are you here? Well, I'm here to see this house. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
They don't care. They want to talk real estate. People want to talk real estate all the time. We're the #1 hottest topic out there, right? Let them talk. Let them tell you their story. I got a great rate. I just bought my house. I just sold my house. Now you're too late to the party for that deal, but maybe there's another deal. Oh, my cousin's looking, right? So we just got to be in the game. We have to take action, be out there, and then you're going to get the wins. 100%. You cannot be denied on the win, guys. Guarantee it. You can't talk to 100 people about real estate and not have something happen that's positive. So even 20, it's gonna be a positive. It may not be a tomorrow you're gonna have a deal in escrow, but it's gonna be something that's gonna be down the road. Every deal I have is from past effort, right? It's from work I did in September, work I did in November, work from an open house, work from showing a buyer. So even last night, I got a call when we were at our thing yesterday. A fellow agent from our old days called me and said, hey, I've got a buyer that I need you to open the door. He's not from here. And I said, sure, I'll help you out. Right. Because I can't say no to people. So, right, Robert? Okay. So I help him out and I have a really nice time showing this family, this home. And I learned something from myself last night that I'm sharing with you. So I wasn't strong enough. They said, well, whatever you can find, we're just looking around. And what I wanted to say, and I'm going to tell you to say, so this buyer says, well, keep us in mind if you see something that you think we'll like, let us know. And what I am going to say next time is I'm happy to start hunting for you to find the right place. Are you willing to hire me to represent you on your next purchase? So we have to click, like, I am going to start saying no to people. I don't show buyers just for no reason. I show buyers because I'm going to sell them a house. We're not just looking. Right? So did I say that last night? No. But I will. So keep that in mind. Of course, we got to get the buyer qualified. These guys for cash. it's hard for me to say no, but start saying no occasionally, especially if something's out of your area, the price point is too low for your buyer. It's not your specialty or it's commercial. Of course, you can refer this to great people in the company. I believe nothing is wasted in life, even if we show even if we show property sometimes to an unqualified buyer occasionally, we're still doing our job. We're looking, we're researching, we're studying the market, right? And we'll get better. So I don't believe anything goes wasted. We're always learning and growing. And of course, this is a stressful business, but prospecting daily keeps the stress away. Find the balance from learning the business to getting the business. So what's great about this company is they're giving you so much education, nonstop education, which is great. But we also have to put the education to practice by getting out there, meaning open house, knocking doors, talking to people. And like I learned on Saturday, even going to a garage sale, you can meet somebody, right? I'm not saying it's the most effective way of prospecting, guys, but we're getting out there. We're doing something. All right, so how do we lead follow-up? I personally am very old school. Of course, I'm using Follow Up Boss, but I have my leads on a 3x5 card. So I have my listing leads and my buyer leads. Okay. So I'm looking at this daily. I'm rewriting it almost daily. I'm looking at it weekly for sure. And I have to reevaluate honestly, what do I feel about that lead? Is it am I making this up in my mind? Are they motivated? Or do they really want to do, do they really want to do something? Or are they really just kind of, it's conditions. Conditions, we can't change that easily. So I also use BombBomb. I don't know if you guys are using BombBomb, and it's fabulous. I think Abigail's using BombBomb. So it's my new secret weapon. So
I
I'll
just started, by the way. I just
Oh,
started.
Good job. Good job. I haven't done it to the whole database, but I am doing it to individual clients. So if I see that I have reached out to them 2 or 3 times, I've sent them an email, I sent them a Christmas card, I really haven't they don't pick up for me during the day, I'll send them a BombBomb. And then, sure shooting, they give me that thumbs up or response, oh, you look great, whatever, we're not selling, but thanks for keeping in touch. That's all I want, right? I'm putting in my Follow Up Boss that we talked. I highly recommend it. Then, of course, we use HomeBot. You have that with a program from Century 21. Thank you, guys. And I do send individual emails to the database. I do send quarterly, haven't been good at it this year, but quarterly mailers would be nice. So because I didn't do that last, I did send Christmas cards out. So something that was physical that they're getting that's personal for me. When we were at Mike Ferry, Shiv, that guy from Canada, he does poinsettias to all his database, which I thought was fabulous. I just don't have the bandwidth to wrap my head around that. Okay, so the win is you're going to make some money. That's the best part.
Karen, I had, I don't know who I was role playing with, but you were mentioning your cards that you have old school, your cards.
Yes.
And she said that she would put it in her car and she would write her commission in that card. And that's what inspired her not to forget to call that person.
I love that. That's beautiful.
I don't recall who I was role playing. It wasn't somebody from LA. That's for sure. I think it was somebody from the East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah.
They would do
No, I
that.
think that's a great tip. That's a great tip. Yeah. And again, the business is stressful. So I try to, even though I love the dollar amount of that, I also just try to think, if I do my contacts and make my phone calls every day, I don't have to be worried about the end result. I will always have a deal. I'll always have business. And that's the encouragement part. If we do daily what we're supposed to do, we don't have to worry about whether we're going to eat next month or not. So again, this is the roller coaster of the business, right? We're up here 1 month. I mean, there was 1 month last year. I didn't make any money. Now, the month before I made 100,000. So it was, but, but the point is, I was still on a roller coaster. Why? I got so caught up in the deals and we closed them all, but then I had nothing. So if we can do daily prospecting, daily contacts, we don't get stuck in that rut of having goose eggs for a closing month. Now, this month, I have zeros on the month of January. I had no listings. So that's not a win, okay? But I have 8 in escrow. So, okay, but still 0 listings is not good. And what is that from? It's from a lack of prospecting in December. So I'm just being honest with you guys because we're being vulnerable here, that we have to be consistent on these daily numbers if we're going to do our deals. And like Mike Ferry talks about when he charges those people like for specialty coaching $50,000 every 6 months, right? Which I'm not doing. But the questions that Mike Ferry asks them daily is, how many leads do you have? How many appointments are you setting today? How many listings this week? How many listings this month? And how many deals for the month? So if Mike Ferry would ask me that, what would I tell him? I don't like the stress of saying, I'm going to do this many or I'm not going home. I don't work that way. I'll give you the contact number and then the results, they'll be there. So that's my own personal way of working. All right. Any questions on that?
Karen, this is Monica. Do you have an assistant?
I let the assistant go 6 months ago or more.
And how did you get your 8 escrows?
Well, okay. Birchfield was a buyer sale that I put in escrow 6 months ago, and it took 6 months for the builder to finish the house. Okay. It was a condo, 577, but we closed it. Shoshone was a lead I got from giving really great service to another seller. The family was next door. They listed with a different agent. The agent didn't give them great service. But my seller was very happy with me. And so she told her parents that they should list their house with me when they decided to. Well, a year and a half later, I got the listing. Okay. What did I do in the meantime? Lead follow-up, right? Hey, Brad, I just want to give you this latest article from Stephen Thomas. I think you'll enjoy it. Super analytical, triple analytical. He loved it. And then, hey, just want to let you know what's going on with the market. Hey, we're at the top of the market. Did he sell at the top of the market? No, he did not. But that was his personal choice. I was keeping him informed. And we closed it finally. Chesterfield is that buyer deal I just talked about. I was calling my database saying, hey, I've got these great listings on Patchwork. And I think, Alice, it would be perfect for you. Well, she didn't want those. So we found her something else she wanted. And then I sold her manufactured home, which closes Friday. And I happened to get the buyer. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. So that's 2 more. Then 20th Street is a buyer that I didn't think would buy right away. I've sold 2 of his houses already. So it's database. So we'll go with that. That's an easy one. Moonflower is actually an agent referral. So that was nice. And that's why I'm really nice to all you guys, because in case you want to send someone to Temecula, I'm available. Okay. And another database recommended me to a next door neighbor, and that's the deal that we're closing today.
That's great. Congratulations. Thank you.
You bet. But point is, it didn't happen in a day, right? It doesn't happen in a day. If you count all this business, it was probably a year and a half of work.
I get it.
Yeah.
Hard work.
It's a year and a half of planting seeds, and you get the harvest at a different time at each month. And that's the fun part about this business. Like, you never know what's going to happen today, right? You could get a deal, you lose a deal, And that's why I don't hold on to the money on each deal. I really try not to fixate on how much money I have in escrow. I do fixate on the contact number. And of course, I like to see my pending number, which is a dollar amount, but we can solve all of our problems by prospecting versus worried about, I don't worry about whether I'm going to lose the deal or get a deal. I just worry about doing my job every day. And let's not think about the money. I do think about the units though. So that's where that is the difference. Like everyone talks about, oh, I'm a $3 million producer. Oh, I'm a $10 million. I don't even think, I don't compute that. I don't even look at it. How many deals? I have 8 deals I'm closing. That counts to me. It doesn't count that one of them is $4 million. It's just the deal.
Hi, Karen. I have a question.
Sure.
So on your lead follow-up, for those you're contacting that may or are thinking or may not be thinking of making a move in the next couple months, what do you call them? What information do you give them? Because I have a lot of them, my database, but I just don't know what else to provide for them I guess the question is what other valuable information can I bring to them?
I really like the Stephen Thomas report. It's $15 a year or every 6 months or whatever it is, but he's fantastic. And you have this beautiful report that it's a little overkill as far as technical data, but some of them they'll just eat it up and they love it. And even if they don't read it, you're just sending them and giving them some value.
Can you repeat the name again?
What is that, Karen?
The name.
It's the Stephen Thomas report, reports on housing. Neil's had him. Robert's had him over several times to the offices once a year. And it's a subscription that you do pay for, but then it comes out every 2 weeks. And so even as ourselves as agents, we get a little discouraged. Well, what's happening with the market? Well, he gives you really, you can speak with more confidence. Hey, the rates are expected to come down 3 times this year. Let's see what happens. The economy's strong, this or that. Someone asked me the other day, well, I want to do foreclosures. Well, foreclosures in Riverside is 1 to 2% of the market. I wouldn't recommend it. Well, where did I get that data? I got it from Stephen Thomas. Right. And then of course, Robert has great information and Robert just shared it with the group. What do I say on Bonbon for Warm Leads? I'm really just trying to be personal with them and letting them know that the market's really strong if they're wanting to buy, if they're wanting to sell. So I'm going to gear it towards them specifically. And I try to keep it under 1 minute, by the way. And Aaron, you can't have my 3x5 cards. Okay. But I'll get you a pack. I'll get you a pack. What percentage call you back? They call you when they need you, I'll tell you that much. So I just got a call even before this time. A girl named Gloria. I've been working on her for years. And I thought we had a listing like last year and it just didn't work out. She got sick. So she called me right now. We're gonna see property on Saturday. Any other questions?
So Karen, just one last question. So you do leave messages to your.
I always leave messages.
Okay.
I'm not like super quick moving, so I'm okay. I'm gonna leave a message. Then they know why I called.
Do you count that as contact or no?
If it's my database, I do count it as a contact. And like I did say, I'm liberal on my contact. If I'm leaving a message, I'm counting it. Some echo there, Robert. All right.
One other question, Karen.
Yes, please.
What's your schedule like in a real rainy day, like we're expecting to come soon?
I'm just gonna love being in my office all day and making phone calls.
Okay.
Yes.
Karen,
What else do we have to do, right? That's it.
can you hear
Yes,
me?
Aaron. Yes.
I love that response because just like we're stuck at home or the office, there's so many people stuck at home as well. Calling on a rainy day is fantastic to get people to actually answer the phone. Love you.
100%. Love you too. Thank you. I'm bringing you those cards. You'll have them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Aaron is a machine on the phone, guys. So if you can see him in Myatt office, I'd recommend it. Okay. I know there's more questions, but it is 101. So, Robert.
All right. So first of all, Karen, I don't know if I said this at the very beginning, but thank you, 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 thank you. So everyone, do me a favor, give her a round of applause for coming out here and giving us this wonderful bit of information. So, I do this all the time, but you all only usually present to one or two people. So this can be somewhat kind of a challenge and almost overwhelming at times because you got 50, 60. I mean, I think the highest we had was in the 50s. That's a little bit different than a listing presentation. So, Karen, you did an absolutely great job. So, thank you for that. I want to chime in on that point she made a great point, and Aaron just chimed in, people at home. You think about this, construction workers can't go to work in the rain. So, that's why whenever I'm driving to the offices and it's raining, people always assume my drive was awful. And I go, actually, it's great because there's no trucks on the road. Because they can't go work in the rain. And there's never any real estate agents on the road during the rain. So that takes out about a couple 100,000 people from California. So that's a benefit. So there you go. Good stuff. Okay, we got a couple minutes here before we got to jump. What stood out to you? What were some points that Karen mentioned, in our own marketplace here that stood out to you?
The Stephen Thomas report, that was pretty good. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah. Yeah, so I put the link to that in the chat box. Now, fair warning, if you are not analytical, it's going to be a bit overwhelming when you read it. Okay. But it's okay. You're going to be all right. So, I see Rochelle smiling because she's a driver. And so it can be a little overwhelming, but you'll be all right. But it is a very, very good report. What else? What else did we get out of this?
What that kid when she said not everything goes wasted. We are always growing and learning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Well, and I actually wrote that down too, but what I wrote down underneath that is growing and learning because as you all know, I hate sales cliches, especially the one that says every no gets me closer to a yes. Well, that's only true if you grow and learn from your no's. Because if your no is, hey, do you think maybe possibly one time, I mean, it's not a big deal if you don't want to, but I mean, if you thought about potentially maybe buying or, I don't know, selling a house, I'm sure you have other people in the business, but maybe possibly work with me. You don't have to. No. Okay. Well, every no gets me closer to a yes. And then you do the same script. You're just going to keep getting no's. So the key to that point, Marianne, and I wrote that down, Karen, too, is the growing and learning. Everything's okay as long as you're growing and learning from the rejection, growing and learning from the embarrassment, growing and learning from whatever it was. So I'm glad that you said that, Karen. That's a really key point there. Good.
I do have one more plug. I've just read the book by Jeb Blunt on selling in a crisis. And I'm not a big reader, but I'm learning, this is my New Year's thing to do a little reading every night. And it was encouraging. And he also talked about acts of service that we can help our clients because they're under stress. So if we can realize that, maybe instead of a nice closing gift for the client, maybe we get the house cleaned. I mean, I'm just throwing out ideas, but I'm kind of cheap, so I haven't wanted to do that. But it might be the right answer. And instead of worrying about a Cutco, knife, because it's acts of service, right? What are they going to remember? What's going to help take the stress off? So it was a good book. It's really easy read. So just encourage you guys on that. And only last topic was the routine. I'm really working this year on a better nighttime routine that helps my mindset be better in the morning. So like lights out at 10:30. It's a new thing. So which means I really have to start at 9 because I do some devotion, I do a little, exercise, stretching, and then shower, reading, and then you know what I'm saying. So everything takes time.
There you go.
Okay.
Good. All right, couple more. We wrap up here. What else do we get?
I have
dating
one.
keeps the stress away.
Prospecting, yeah, removes the stress. That's right. Go ahead, Abigail.
Her energy, her determination, her blind. And so I don't know if you heard the last one. I don't know. My Dell computer just froze. It's her energy, her determination, her blind faith. And she just said something that just caught my attention. It says, you just have to be in the game. And sometimes something happened to me just recently where I felt like I was out of the game, and now I feel like I'm in the game. So I'm always constantly telling myself, or when I get a new transaction, I'm all constantly thinking, oh, I'm back in the game. I'm back in the game. And you can't be denied on the wins. That is so true. You cannot. If you're really out there, you're busting your chops. I mean, there's just no way, you can't, you won't be denied.
That's right. That's right.
I second that.
For
I second
me,
that.
for me,
Go ahead,
it's
Linda.
like make it a goal to stay off the roller coaster.
Right.
It's good.
Some of you, the answer to that question is in your head. I'm not being mean. The roller coaster that goes on in the head of up and down. Today I'm great. Tomorrow I suck. Oh, I'm awesome. Today's going to be a great day. Oh, today's going to be terrible. A lot of the times the roller coaster is that, and it's not even the production. So if you want to eliminate the roller coaster of production, you have to eliminate the roller coaster of emotion.
It's good.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's a good point.
I like it when she said every day is an opportunity. That's right.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And if you don't believe that point, go look at your MLS and go do 10-mile radius around the office and see if anyone listed their house yesterday.
And
Go
that's
see if
really
go see if there were any escrows opened yesterday. Every day is an opportunity. Mike Ferry does this all the time. Is somebody going to list their house for sale in your marketplace today? Yes. Are they going to call you? Right? Or are you going to have to call them? But it's going to happen every day. Every day is an opportunity. Think about this, and then we'll wrap up here. Think about this. I want you to think about your average paycheck, and I can't say a number because some of you work in different areas that the price points are different. But the average for the company is like $14,000. Every day is a $14,000 day. Whatever you're at, every day is a $14,000 day potentially.
right.
So yeah, every day is an opportunity. I mean, if you made $14,000 every day, that would be pretty good. And I want you to know, as someone who runs this real estate company, I approve.
course you do. More is better.
I approve of you doing $14,000 every day. Right? The opportunity is there. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Karen, it's funny. You and I talk every week and have known each other for a little bit now, and yet I'm still taking notes as you're talking because there's just always so much valuable information in there. So I really appreciate that and wrote down some good thoughts here that a lot of these people have mentioned already as well. So thank you again. Greatly appreciate it. So all right, everybody, again, do me one more favor. Give her again a round of applause for doing this with us today. It's
You
not
guys been great.
easy,
Thank you,
but
Karen.
she nailed it. So good
Thanks for being
stuff. So take action. Now take a point, homework assignment. I'm a coach, I can't help myself. Homework assignment. Take 1 point, just one, and implement it tomorrow. Just one.
today.
Okay, whether
Today.
I'm being generous today. Okay. I'm being generous.
All
I
right.
don't but
I
but
have a
implement it.
homework assignment. I have a homework assignment. I
What is
want
it?
somebody to actually knock on a door, 10 doors, and then call me and tell me how great it was.
There you go.
Okay? And you know my number, 951-326-5000. I'll actually send it to everybody.
But yeah, there you go. Do something. Do something with this. She works in your market. There's no reason why you can't take one thing and implement it in your business. There's got to be one thing that you got out of this today. All right, everybody. Good stuff, Karen. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. We've got open mic still to go this afternoon, so let's make sure we're on that. And while I have you here, Monday,